Good morning.
Good morning.
We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
It is really co-creation at its best. You understand co-creating? Interacting with others, comparing experience, finding your place in all of the variety from your personal perspective, which is so important, where you specifically perceive from your vantage point. Your vantage point, the vantage point that you were born to be. Uniquely you in that not another ever has or will stand where you stand. Right now, in proximity to others. When we speak of co-creating at its best, we mean the co-creating that you do with one another, certainly. But when we put the emphasis on it that we did just now, we mean co-creating at its best because there is an opportunity, a keener opportunity really, in an environment like this, for you to merge with the larger non-physical cadre of consciousness. In other words, you're hanging around with other physical ones. Yes, you are. But you come from non-physical roots. And those roots are eternally attached. And therefore, there is a larger part of you here and now, while you're focused in this body, who is non-physically focused. Sometimes human refers to that as soul or source or even God. We refer to that as non-physical energy. We refer to it more specifically as your inner being. But of course, your inner being is always surrounded and co-creating with this larger energy. And so what we are really saying to you is that you cannot, no matter what, separate yourself from this larger dynamic consciousness that we often refer to as all that is. Now, the reason that we are starting there today, wanting to get you to broaden your awareness, is because humans have such a scanty and often completely distorted view of how you in your physical body fit into the whole of all of this. We want you, by virtue of what you hear as Esther translates our knowing into words that are meaningful, we want you to find resonance with a deep knowing that is yours. And it is our expectation that as we move forward in the hours that are before us, and as you listen and participate with your own relationship to your own life experience, that you will feel a vibrational resonance with that core who is really you. And as you find that resonance, you will vibrationally move into what we are calling your natural vortex of expansion, your vortex of creation, your vortex where the larger part of you has already assembled with all aspects of life that you have carved out of all that you have become. You stand here in your physical body and you are sifting through life, and you cannot help but come to constant, unique, very personal conclusions about what you prefer at many levels of your being. Your cells are doing it too. Every part of the consciousness that makes up the body of you is having a personal exposure to life and coming to new and improved preferences. It is just what exposure to life causes. So an asking comes forth from you. It radiates from you, whether you ever put words to it or not. If you're feeling confused, you ask for clarity. Because in your perception, hear this, in your perception that equals your state of confusion, there is an equal and proportionate other side of that bounce. In other words, to the degree that you have become immersed enough in your life, focused enough that you could even be aware that there is something that you don't understand, that there is something that you are feeling confusion about, as that problem that we are right now calling confusion is coming into focus within you, the solution is coming into focus simultaneously. And the solution to your confusion is coming in the identical proportion on the other side of the wave. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. But here's what seems tricky to you. This very contrast that causes you to expand, and then your inability or unwillingness, or in most cases just lack of understanding, that keeps you from lining up with the expansion, is the only reason that you ever feel bad. In other words, what we just said to you is, if your life didn't cause you to be more, you wouldn't feel bad not being it. But since your life is causing you all day, every day to be more, you got to let yourself be it, or you don't feel good, and on and on. If you've got negative emotion and you don't know that what it means is the larger part of you expanded and you didn't go yet, so you just keep beating the drum that holds you away from who you are, don't worry, it will get bigger. And the reason it gets bigger is because the expanded you continues to call you, and when you don't go, the negative emotion, your indicator of separation is too strong a word, but you get the point. Your indication of misalignment just gets more and more and more. So at first, it's an emotion, then it's a stronger emotion, then it's a chronic emotion, then it's a physical sensation, then it's a physical experience, then it's a condition of life experience. In other words, if you don't let yourself in your physical form be a vibrational match to who you in this physical form have caused the larger part of you to become, you're just not going to feel good. And we say, oh, friends, stop trying to control the uncontrollable and control what is controllable. And stop trying to do the impossible thing of controlling conditions so that you can feel better. And control the thing that is easy to control. Really, once you get the hang of it, it's easy. Control the relationship between you and you. Control your vibrational alignment with you. Control the direction of your thought, the choices of your words, the sentences that you construct, the television programs that you watch, the books that you read, but mostly control your perception of life. Do more looking into this vortex, which from our point of view, and our point of view matters. Our point of view is the place where everything that you have become is. From our point of view, this vibrational reality in this vortex of attraction, this is present tense. And what is doesn't mean diddly squat. What is just the bouncing off place. Now, as children, you knew that. You could sit in just about any environment and bliss out in your mind. You went to your vibrational reality and you tuned to who you are and you liked it. And then your teacher hit you over the head with something and said, come back to this miserable reality where you belong. But you are out of your teacher's reach now. In fact, we dare say that you are out of everyone's reach that has any real control over you. You sit here, you're not incarcerated. You sit here of free will. You have the free will to focus your thoughts into alignment with who you have become. And we're just saying that if you don't do that, you're not going to feel as good as you deserve to feel. And that's what the art of allowing is. It's allowing myself by virtue of what I choose to think, because I'm paying attention to how I feel and I want to feel good, to choose more thoughts that are in alignment with the way the source within me sees them. Now think about what that means. You ask for more money, the source within you knows the money, knows the prosperity, knows it. So do you get it that when you train yourself to that vibration, law of attraction has to give you the money? The manifestation has to follow. Now you know everything we know. Everything that matters anyway. We are eager to talk with you about anything that you want to talk about. Nothing is off limits. We see our greatest value to you to help you remember what you've put into the vortex relative to the subject that you want to talk about. And we see our greatest value to you to coax you into the vortex. That's our work here today. We want to call you in as many ways as we can conjure together into the vortex where who you really are is. And then you'll begin to feel the fullness of what you've become. Now, the manifestation will follow. We're going to do our best to divert your attention from your current reality, because we don't think you need a reality to change in order to improve your mood. We think that you can improve your mood regardless of the current reality. And we're here to tell you that unless you improve your mood regardless of the current reality cannot improve. So you might as well just ignore current reality if it's bugging you in some way and get focused upon the magnificence that you've carved out of current reality on those specific topics. Take your bliss now. Take your satisfaction now. Take your good feeling now. And let your neighbors be the one that celebrate the manifestation. And what we mean by that is, you can celebrate when your heart shifts, when your joy shifts. And really, that shouldn't be so hard to grasp anyway, because everything you want, everything, whether it's a material object or a state of being or a pile of money or a relationship or condition, circumstance, events, every single thing you want that you want to be different, you want it to be different because you think you will feel better in the difference. And we want to show you how you can feel better before the difference shows up in terms of manifestation. Now, often you want to hold us to something, and we will gladly be held to it. You want us to say, Abraham, promise me that if I pay the price of happiness, the manifestation will come. And we promise you that if you pay the price of happiness, if you are willing to change your thoughts, even though the current reality doesn't justify the happy thought, it is our promise to you that if you are able to direct your thought and sustain more positive emotions, that the manifestations that you have been seeking must come, and they must come fast. It is law. It is our absolute promise to you. We want you to understand that you have the glorious experience of sifting through variety for the purpose of coming to new conclusions about how your life would be better. And when that happens, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you then have the option of aligning with what you're asking for, or of continuing to align with the reason that you ask. If you ask for an improved condition, but you keep beating the drum of the reason that you want the improved condition, you hold yourself vibrationally apart from what you've asked for. So we've been talking to you for a while, and some of you have been listening to us for a while about this powerful law of attraction, which in very simple terms says you get what you think about. Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself vibrationally is drawn to it. It's like radio signals. When you set your tuner at 98.7 FM, you hear from that broadcasting station. You don't hear from another broadcasting station. So when you set your tuner at, I'm in a bad mood because this bad thing has happened, you've set a tuner that makes it only possible for law of attraction to yield to you things that match that. So we've then been explaining to you that that's not a bad thing, because knowing what you don't want causes you to know what you do want. An equivalent bounce to that wave then occurs. In other words, when you really know what you don't want, you really know what you do want. But the thing that we want to remind you of is, when you really know what you don't want and really know what you don't want, and therefore there is a part of you that now really knows what you do want, if you've been beating the drum of really knowing what you don't want, you've trained yourself into that frequency, and it's not easy for you to let go of it and begin thinking about what you do want. But the larger part of you is only thinking about what you do want.